Welcome to Barbara's Bulletin, the podcast where we bring you the latest news and updates from around the world. We're starting off with a developing story in the Middle East, where tensions between the US and Iran continue to escalate. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has announced that it has closed the Strait of Hormuz, a critical waterway that connects the Persian Gulf to the Arabian Sea, after a series of attacks on US and allied targets in the region. The latest escalation began when Iran fired ballistic missiles at a U.S. command and control center in Jordan, as well as drone hangars and other targets in Qatar, Kuwait, and Bahrain. The Iranian military also targeted a U.S. naval logistics hub and aircraft carrier refueling platforms in Oman. The U.S. has responded with airstrikes against Iranian targets, including a cargo ship that was attempting to transit the Strait of Hormuz despite warnings from the IRGC. The situation is fluid and rapidly changing, with both sides trading accusations and threats. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has traveled to Oman for talks on the future of the Strait of Hormuz, but it is unclear whether senior U.S. envoys will be involved in the discussions. The U.S. has demanded that Iran publicly declare all channels of the strait open to shipping and pledge not to attack civilian vessels transiting the waterway. The situation is complex and multifaceted, with both sides having legitimate concerns and grievances. We'll continue to monitor the situation and bring you updates as more information becomes available. In the meantime, we want to hear from you. What do you think about the current situation in the Middle East? Do you think the U.S. and Iran can find a way to de-escalate tensions and reach a peaceful resolution? Share your thoughts with us on social media using the hashtag #Barbara's Bulletin. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. We are continuing our coverage of global news and current events. Our middle segment today focuses on the passing of a significant figure in the Middle East, Sheikh Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani, the former Emir of Qatar. Sheikh Hamad was known for his vision and efforts to transform Qatar into a major player on the world stage, particularly through its vast oil and gas reserves. During his rule, Sheikh Hamad implemented various reforms and invested heavily in education, healthcare, and infrastructure. One of his most notable achievements was the establishment of the Al Jazeera news network, which became a major force in global media. However, this also led to tensions with other Arab leaders and Western countries, who criticized the network's reporting as biased. Sheikh Hamad was also a key player in regional politics, often taking a proactive approach to conflict resolution. He played a significant role in mediating disputes in Sudan's Darfur region, Lebanon, and between Palestinian factions. Additionally, Qatar under his leadership provided financial and military aid to various groups, including the Libyan rebels and the Syrian opposition. However, Sheikh Hamad's support for Islamist groups like the Muslim Brotherhood has been a point of contention with other nations in the region. This led to a years-long boycott of Qatar by Bahrain, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE, which was eventually lifted. It's worth noting that Sheikh Hamad's legacy is complex and multifaceted. While he oversaw significant economic growth and development in Qatar, his rule was also marked by human rights concerns and criticism over the country's treatment of migrant workers. As we reflect on Sheikh Hamad's life and legacy, it's clear that his impact on the region and the world will be felt for years to come. We'll continue to monitor developments in Qatar and the Middle East, providing you with balanced and unbiased coverage. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. As we wrap up today's show, I'd like to bring to your attention a significant development in the Australian education sector. The federal government has introduced a new anti-racism standard that will require universities to adopt definitions on anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, and racism towards Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. This move aims to stamp out discrimination on campuses and promote a more inclusive environment for students and staff. The new standard will be legally enforceable, and universities will be required to create transparent complaints processes and issue guidance to students and staff. While the institutions will have the flexibility to use their own definitions, including for anti-Semitism, the goal is to ensure that all forms of racism are addressed and prevented. This development comes as the Royal Commission into Anti-Semitism and Social Cohesion continues its hearings, with university leaders, academics, and students set to give evidence. The Commission's inquiry has already shed light on disturbing instances of racism on campuses, including cases of Palestinian students being mocked, First Nation students being compared to petrol sniffers, and Jewish students being fearful of attending class. Education Minister Jason Clare has emphasized that there is no place for anti-Semitism or any type of hate in universities or anywhere else, and that institutions must take action to prevent racism and respond when it happens. The Tertiary Education Quality and Standards Agency will be responsible for enforcing compliance with the new standards, which will come into effect from January 1, 2027. As we consider this important issue, it's essential to recognize the complexities involved and the need for nuanced discussions. While some may argue that the new standard could potentially stifle free speech or criticism of certain governments, others see it as a necessary step towards creating a safer and more respectful environment for all students. Ultimately, the goal of promoting inclusivity, respect, and understanding on university campuses is one that we can all get behind. By engaging in open and honest conversations about these issues, we can work towards creating a more harmonious and equitable society for everyone. That's all for today's Barbara's Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay engaged.